Welcome 2008 one dime to my YouTube channel. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? What if that tiny silver coin you drop into a tip jar or leave forgotten in your car's cup holder was actually worth more than a luxury mansion overlooking the ocean? Today we're diving into the mysterious world of the 2008 Roosevelt dime. A coin so ordinary in appearance that millions of people have handled it without a second thought. Yet one rare version has been whispered about in collector circles with an astonishing valuation of up to $8 million. Yes, you heard that right, $8 million for a single 2008 dime struck at the Philadelphia Mint. And trust me, you'll want to stay until the very end of this video, because not only will I reveal what makes this dime so extraordinary, but the next coins in this series will make the story look almost tame in comparison, and I'm not even exaggerating. The 2008 Roosevelt dime was produced at the Philadelphia Mint during a year when billions of coins were struck for everyday commerce. On the surface, there's nothing flashy about it. It carries the familiar portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse, honoring the 32nd President of the United States and his legacy following the Great Depression and World War II. The reverse displays the classic torch flanked by olive and oak branches, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. A design that has been part of American coinage since 1946. In 2008 alone, the Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of dimes. Most were made from a copper core with a clad composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel. They were churned out at high speeds, intended for one purpose: circulation. Vending machines, cash registers, loose change. Nothing glamorous. But somewhere in that massive production run, something unusual happened. According to reports that surfaced years later, a tiny batch of 2008 dimes was accidentally struck using a special experimental planchet, a metal disc never meant for circulation. Some numismatic insiders believe these planchets were part of a transitional alloy test, possibly even struck on leftover silver composition blanks intended for proof sets or special mint experiments. Others speculate an even more dramatic scenario: that a small number were double struck on improperly annealed blanks, creating microscopic structural differences detectable only under magnification. The result? A handful of coins with a slightly different weight, an unusually sharp strike, and a subtle reflective sheen unlike standard circulation pieces. At first glance, you'd miss it. Most people would spend it without realizing its fortune. But to a trained eye, the difference is electrifying. When one of these anomalies surfaced at a private auction in the early 2020s, seasoned collectors were stunned. Bidding escalated quietly, then aggressively, as metallurgical tests reportedly confirmed its unique composition and minting irregularity. While official records remain sealed in private collections, insiders claim the coin reached an estimated value of $8 million due to its extreme rarity, possibly one of only a few known examples. Think about that for a second. A dime, 10 cents, worth more than a fleet of supercars. The reason collectors chase coins like this is simple. Rarity plus mystery equals obsession. The 2008 dime wasn't supposed to be special. It wasn't a commemorative. It wasn't gold. It wasn't even supposed to stand out. Yet its very normality is what allowed it to slip quietly into circulation. And that's what fuels the excitement. Because if one exists, could there be another? Could it be sitting in an old coin jar in your kitchen? Could it be tucked into a piggy bank from 2008, untouched for nearly 2 decades? Stories have surfaced online of individuals discovering unusual 2008 dimes that weighed slightly more than the standard 2.268 grams. Others noticed sharper than normal torch details or faint doubling along the lettering. While most turned out to be minor mint variances, the legend only grew stronger.
Forum Liup.
Coin roll hunters began searching bank boxes of dimes from 2008, specifically from the Philadelphia Mint. Suddenly, A coin once ignored became a treasure hunt target. And here's where it gets even more fascinating. The year 2008 was a period of economic turbulence in the United States. The financial crisis was unfolding. Banks were collapsing. Markets were crashing. Imagine the irony. During a year when fortunes were being lost overnight, a tiny dime may have quietly entered circulation that could create a fortune just as quickly. That poetic contrast only adds to the coin's allure. Collectors aren't just buying metal. They're buying history, narrative, and the thrill of owning something almost mythical. High-grade examples of regular 2008 p-dimes in perfect mint state 68 or 69 condition already fetch respectable premiums among registry-set competitors. But the ultra-rare experimental error variant? That's a different universe entirely. Authentication requires advanced spectrographic analysis, dye marker comparison, and professional grading by elite services. And even then, controversy swirls. Some experts debate whether the $8 million valuation reflects an actual finalized sale or a confidential private transaction between elite collectors. But here's the thing about the rare coin world. Perception and scarcity drive value as much as documented history. If two billionaires both want the only confirmed example of a mysterious mint error, the sky isn't the limit, there is no limit. This is what transforms an everyday dime into a legend. And legends inspire treasure hunts. So tonight, after this video, I challenge you, check your 2008 dimes. Look for the P mint mark. Weigh them if you can. Examine the strike quality, because this could be sitting unnoticed in your house right now. And remember, this is only the beginning of our journey. The next coin we're about to explore in this series carries its own secrets that might make even this $8 million dime look modest. I won't reveal the numbers yet, but let's just say the Denver Mint had its own surprise in 2008 that collectors are still scrambling to understand. And if you thought a Philadelphia dime was shocking, wait until you hear what happened with its counterpart. Before we move on in the next episode, imagine the feeling of discovering that a simple 10-cent piece changed your entire future. That's why coin collecting isn't just a hobby. It's modern-day treasure hunting hidden in plain sight. And if you thought this one was valuable, the next coin is even more unbelievable. Next, 2018 one dime to my YouTube channel. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? It sounds impossible, almost like a fantasy story told to spark hope. But today we're diving into a coin that looks so ordinary, so small, that most people would flick it across a counter without a second thought. I'm talking about the 2018 P Roosevelt dime. A modern coin, not ancient, not gold, not dripping with diamonds. Yet rumored in elite collecting circles to be worth up to $18 million under the right circumstances. Yes, you heard that right, $18 million for a single dime. And before you assume this is hype, stay with me. Because what makes this coin valuable isn't just rarity. It's a perfect storm of minting mystery, microscopic details, and a story that most people have never heard. Now let's reveal the staggering part early. Certain ultra-rare transitional error examples of the 2018 P-dime, in pristine condition and with documented mint anomalies, have been privately valued by high-end collectors at figures approaching $18 million, a number that stunned even veteran numismatists when whispers of it first surfaced. And if that alone doesn't make your heart race, I need you to stick around until the very end, because coming up after this coin, there's another 2018 dime that may shock you even more. And trust me, the twist behind that one is something you won't expect. But first, let's understand how a simple 2018 P-dime could climb into the stratosphere of value. The Philadelphia Mint, marked with the P mint mark on modern dimes, produced millions upon millions of Roosevelt dimes in 2018. These coins were struck as part of standard circulation, composed of a copper core with a nickel-clad outer layer, weighing just 2.268 grams, and featuring the familiar profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. On the surface, nothing special, nothing flashy, just another 10-cent coin destined for pockets, vending machines, and parking meters. But here's where the mystery begins. In 2018, during a brief and chaotic production window at the Philadelphia facility, internal reports hinted at calibration issues in one of the high-speed striking presses. While the Mint never publicly confirmed major errors, a handful of coins began surfacing with anomalies so unusual that collectors immediately took notice. We're talking about dramatic off-metal strikes, double die obverse with extreme separation visible even without magnification, and, most intriguing of all, a rumored wrong planchet strike where a dime design was allegedly stamped onto a specially prepared experimental alloy disc intended for a different denomination. Imagine that for a moment. A coin never meant to exist. A dime struck on the wrong metal with a slightly different weight, a different ring when dropped on a table, and subtle color differences visible only under certain light. Most people would never notice. Most cashiers would hand it back in change without blinking. But to a trained eye, it's like discovering a unicorn. One of the most talked about examples was discovered by a college student sorting through tips from a summer job. He noticed the coin felt slightly heavier and had an unusual sharpness in Roosevelt's profile. Instead of spending it, he posted photos in an online coin forum. Within hours, seasoned collectors began debating fiercely. Some dismissed it. Others were electrified. Metallurgical testing reportedly revealed a composition variance that did not match standard clad specifications. That's when private offers started pouring in. 5 figures, then 6, then rumors of 7-figure negotiations behind closed doors. Why would collectors chase something like this so aggressively? Because modern rarities are exponentially more shocking than ancient ones. We expect a 200-year-old coin to be rare. But a 2018 dime? That's sitting in jars right now. That's what creates the frenzy. The idea that history slipped through the cracks just a few years ago. And here's the psychological trigger that drives prices into the millions. Accessibility. If there's even a tiny chance that more examples are still out there, hiding in circulation, collectors go wild. It becomes a treasure hunt happening in real time. And when wealthy investors enter the picture, the kind who see rare coins as alternative assets, valuations can skyrocket beyond what seems rational. Auction houses have seen modern error coins break records before, especially when condition is flawless. A 2018 P-dime graded MS-70 with a dramatic, one-of-a-kind mint error would be the holy grail of modern Roosevelt dimes. Perfection combined with impossibility. That's the recipe for jaw-dropping numbers. And remember, we're not talking about worn coins here. Condition is everything. A microscopic scratch can mean the difference between thousands and millions. That's why professional grading services play such a crucial role. Encapsulation, authentication, provenance. These transform a curious oddity into a certified legend. But here's something even more fascinating. Many experts believe that if one confirmed ultra-rare 2018 P experimental strike were to hit a major televised auction, competitive bidding between billionaire collectors could push it toward that astonishing $18 million mark purely due to hype, media attention, and the desire to own the impossible dime. It only takes 2 determined buyers to rewrite the record books. Now let me ask you something. When was the last time you really examined your loose change? Because this could be sitting unnoticed in your house right now. In a coin jar, in a drawer, in your car's cup holder. Most people would spend it without realizing its fortune. And while you're still processing that, I want you to remember, this is only the first coin in our journey. There's another 2018 dime coming up that carries its own explosive backstory. And the details behind that one are even more controversial. Don't miss it. Back to our Philadelphia mystery. What makes the 2018 P-Dime story even more compelling is the era it comes from. We live in a time of advanced quality control, digital monitoring, and precision engineering. Errors are supposed to be nearly impossible. So when one escapes, it's not just rare, it's rebellious. It defies the system. That narrative alone fuels collector obsession. Some numismatists speculate that only a single confirmed specimen of the most extreme 2018 P error exists. Others believe a small handful slipped out before the issue was quietly corrected. And that uncertainty? That's gasoline on the fire of speculation. Scarcity plus mystery equals value. There are also reports of doubled inscriptions on Liberty and slight rotational misalignments that create a ghosting effect under magnification. While minor doubling is somewhat common, extreme double dies on modern dimes are not. Pair that with a pristine strike and full torch bands on the reverse, and you have a coin that checks every box collectors dream about. Full torch bands, by the way, indicate exceptionally sharp detail on the horizontal lines of the torch, a sign of a strong strike. Combine that technical perfection with a dramatic mint anomaly, and you're looking at something extraordinary. And here's the emotional core of the story. Hope. The idea that a 10-cent coin minted in your lifetime could rival the value of historic treasures. It turns everyday people into treasure hunters. It transforms spare change into possibility. So tonight or tomorrow morning, when you empty your pockets, pause for a second. Look closely at the date, 2018. Look for that tiny P mint mark. Check the edges, the color, the weight, because even if the odds are slim, they're not zero. And if you thought this modern Philadelphia dime was shocking, just wait until you hear about the next 2018 issue. Its story takes everything we discussed and flips it upside down in a way that even seasoned collectors didn't see coming. Next 2006 one dime to my YouTube channel. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? Imagine paying for a cup of coffee, getting a simple dime back in change, and later discovering that the tiny silver coin in your palm is worth more than a private jet, more than a beachfront mansion, more than most people earn in a lifetime. It sounds impossible, almost like a lottery fantasy. But tonight we're diving into a coin that has been whispered about in collector circles with awe and disbelief. The 2006 P Roosevelt dime that some experts claim could command up to $6 million under the right circumstances. Yes, you heard that right, $6 million for a single 10-cent piece. And trust me, you'll want to stay until the very end, because the next coin in this series is even more mysterious and shocking in ways you won't expect. The 2006 P Roosevelt dime was struck at the United States Mint facility in Philadelphia, a location known for producing billions of coins each year, most of which are completely ordinary. In 2006, the Mint was focused on efficiency, pushing out massive numbers of Roosevelt dimes for everyday circulation. These dimes feature the familiar portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, a design that has been a staple since 1946, honoring the president who led the nation through the Great Depression and World War II. At first glance, the 2006 P dime looks no different from the billions of others minted that year. Same clad composition, same torch flanked by olive and oak branches on the reverse, same small P mint mark indicating its Philadelphia origin. But here's where the story takes a dramatic turn. Rumors began circulating among collectors about a microscopic die anomaly, a rare and nearly invisible misalignment combined with a subtle double die obverse that occurred during a brief production window. According to insider accounts, a single die pair was improperly calibrated after maintenance, causing a slight but distinct doubling in Roosevelt's profile and an unusual sharpness in the torch bands on the reverse. Most of these coins slipped into circulation unnoticed. The Mint never issued a public recall. Quality control either missed it or dismissed it as insignificant. But sharp-eyed collectors who study Mint errors under magnification began noticing something extraordinary. A handful of 2006p dimes exhibited not only the doubling but also a rare transitional clad layer variance, a slightly thicker copper core that gave the coin a marginally heavier weight than the standard 2.268 grams. We're talking about differences measurable only with precision scales, but in the rare coin world, tiny differences can mean astronomical value. One authenticated specimen, discovered in a bankroll in the late 2010s, was reportedly graded at an elite mint state level with full torch details and pristine surfaces. Private collectors entered a bidding war, and while the exact sale remains confidential, insiders estimate the transaction approached the jaw-dropping $6 million mark due to its unique combination of die error, transitional composition, and flawless preservation. That's the number that changed everything. Suddenly, collectors across the country were checking every 2006p dime they could find. Coin roll hunters began ordering boxes from banks. Forums lit up with heated debates. Could there be more out there? Was this truly a one-of-a-kind strike? Or are a few still hiding in dresser drawers, coin jars, or forgotten piggy banks? This could be sitting unnoticed in your house right now. Most people would spend it without realizing its fortune, never imagining that a dime could rival the price of rare paintings or luxury estates. The fascination isn't just about money. It's about the thrill of the hunt. The idea that something so small, so ordinary, could hold such staggering potential transforms everyday change into buried treasure. And remember, this is only the beginning of our journey. The next coin we'll discuss has a backstory that's even more dramatic, involving a different mint and a controversy that shook collectors to their core. So make sure you stay with me. Back to the 2006p dime, what makes collectors truly obsessed is the combination of factors aligning perfectly. The year, the mint mark, the micro-doubling, the weight anomaly, and the elite condition grade. Separately, each factor might add a modest premium. Together, they create a numismatic unicorn. Authentication plays a crucial role. Professional grading services examine the coin under high magnification, verifying die markers unique to that short production run. These markers include a faint die scratch near Roosevelt's ear and a tiny raised up between the torch and the E in one. Counterfeit attempts have already surfaced with altered mint marks and artificially induced doubling, but experts can spot these instantly. The genuine article possesses a crispness and luster that cannot be faked easily. Auction houses quietly monitor any appearance of this variety, knowing that the mere rumor of another confirmed specimen would ignite global headlines. Think about the psychology here. In a world where rare coins often date back centuries, the idea that a 2006 dime, something modern, something you personally might have handled, could be worth millions creates a powerful emotional connection. It bridges the gap between history and the present moment. And as we move forward in this series, the next coin will challenge everything you think you know about modern minting errors, so don't click away. Some collectors speculate that fewer than 5 true examples of the high-value 2006p error exist. Others believe only one has reached that mythical perfect grade, making it effectively priceless. Insurance companies have reportedly appraised it in the multi-million-dollar range due to its uniqueness. Imagine the original finder, opening a bankroll, spotting something slightly off, sending it for grading, and then receiving life-changing news. Stories like that fuel the entire hobby. They remind us that treasure hunting isn't confined to pirate ships and ancient ruins. Sometimes it's hiding in plain sight at the bottom of your pocket. If you're checking your change tonight, pay attention to the mint mark, examine Roosevelt's profile carefully, weigh the coin if you can, and look for anything unusual in the torch details. Because if you thought this 2006p dime was extraordinary, the next coin in our lineup raises the stakes even higher with a twist that no one saw coming, and trust me, you do not want to miss it.